Did you know that as we speak right now, there are thousands, if not millions of people that are waiting in line to watch a scary movie, or to ride the latest, scariest roller coaster, or to bungee jump? What really excites us about fear? My name is Eid Almujaibel, and this is the 7-Minute Breakthrough Revolution. Our topic for this week is about something I'm so passionate about. Fear. Why do we enjoy scaring ourselves? What happens in our bodies when we're afraid? Are all fears illusions? You see, imagine yourself walking in the savannas of Africa thousands of years ago. You're just wandering around, walking, and all of a sudden, a lion or a tiger comes out of nowhere. Guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna get the hell out of there. Why? Let's break it down a little bit. Let's break that situation down. Let's just imagine a situation without fear. You're just walking in the savannas of Africa, being all cool, and then a lion jumps out of nowhere, and then you're not afraid. And then you don't decide whether to fight or flight. You see, fear is a blessing, a gift. Without it, we won't be here today. What happens in our bodies, in our physiology, when we're afraid? You see, there's a little piece in our brain that looks like a chestnut that's called the amygdala. And this basically triggers when we're afraid. And when we're afraid, this amygdala triggers into either to fight the tiger or the lion, or to flight, to leave the situation and run away. And what happens in our bodies in order to fight or flight, where our bodies is filled with adrenaline and energy, and you can feel all the blood flowing in your muscles, and all the non-essential systems stop down and shut down, like our rational thinking, for example. So when we're afraid, we're not thinking rationally. We're just reacting instead of acting. So think of a situation in your life where your amygdala is activated. And when I say activated, I'm not talking about a lion chasing you, but I'm talking about situations where you're activated. You could be arguing with your boss. You could be arguing with your partner. You could be about to make a huge decision. Notice that whatever you're saying or the other person is saying is not rational at all. Because you see, the brain doesn't know the difference between illusions and reality. If you now think of a situation that's really scary to you, it could be losing a loved one, for instance, or jumping off a cliff, or putting a slimy snake all over your body. Your body would actually react exactly like that snake is actually on your body. Your heart rate will start to go faster. Your body will start to sweat. Your breathing will be shallow. Your body will be filled with adrenaline, ready to fight or flight the situation. But here's the tricky part. It's 2017. We're not in the savannas of Africa. But fear is still a daily struggle. You see, fear is connected to memory and confidence. Every strong memory is triggered by the amygdala, whether it's a positive emotion or a negative emotion. It's ingrained on the amygdala. You can think of that memory very vividly. You can see it in slow motion. For example, God forbid if you had an accident. If you really think of the accident, now the situation, you can look at it in slow motion because the memory is so powerful. But why? Why is everything that scares us such a powerful memory? You see, if you touch a fire and the fire burns you, your brain connects fire to pain. It's a survival mechanism. So if you touch, you won't touch fire again. That's why certain people are afraid from certain things. I want to tell you guys a little story. I remember when I was 7 or 8 years old, me and my 2 older brothers were watching Thriller, Michael Jackson's video. And I remember that part when he was with his girlfriend in the woods and there was a full moon and all of a sudden he starts turning into a werewolf. I I remember that part scared the hell out of me. I started screaming, I started crying, I started shaking. And when I looked on my brothers and my two older brothers, they were laughing. Years after that situation, I thought, we all were raised in the same environment. We all had the same parents. What is it that really triggered my fear? I noticed that we all have different fears. Some of us are afraid of heights. Some of us are afraid of nature. Some of us are afraid of snakes. Others love snakes. Others love studying snakes. This might sound weird, but I love snakes. I think they're just fascinating animals. And the beauty about this is humans were able to hack this engineering system in our brains and our bodies, that to a point where we're able to create this safe environment where we can intentionally scare ourselves, knowing that we'll be safe and nothing will happen to us. Isn't that amazing? Enjoying the high. That's why we watch scary movies, going on roller coasters, like my fellow Omar Al-Hajlan. If you ask him about skydiving, I'm sure he'll talk a lot about what happens in his body during that situation. But isn't it beautiful knowing that we're able to hack into our own systems for our own benefit? You see, fear is something you can't get rid of. You can only adapt to it. But why would you want to get rid of it in the first place? Really think about that. Imagine a situation where you're just walking in the street and somebody suddenly just comes, or a car just comes out of nowhere. You have no choice to think rationally. You're just going to have to fight or flight. Just get the hell out of the way. That's a very good way of thinking fear. And the funny part is when you're attacked by a lion, or when you're embarrassed in front of your friends as a child, or you stood in front of the class, the brain doesn't know the difference. The amygdala still reacts. So fear is a very, very essential hormone for the human being's survival. I'd like you to really start observing what you're really afraid of and where does it show up in your life. I hope this talk really benefited you guys. I love this topic. I'm so passionate about it. I can talk about it for days and ages. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you have any questions regarding this topic or Life Talks Live in general, you know where to find us, guys. Stay awesome and have a blessed, fearless night.